Technically, I started sleeping on the floor a year ago and I was already in my 40s. But if I look back, my kids were sleeping on the floor since they were a few months old, and then they went to regular beds and now they're back on the floor. And I realized that maybe a video about getting your kids to sleep on the floor might be something helpful to some of you out there, especially if you are parents of young children and you find yourself in your kids' rooms every night because they having trouble sleeping. This might be helpful. So I'm just going to share with you my journey with helping my kids to sleep on their own in their own rooms and how floor sleeping really helped me to accomplish that. So for context, my kids are now 12. My son is 12 and my daughter is 8. And when my son was first born, I was already reading about different sleep training methods. Whatever is your thoughts on sleep training, that's not going to be the focus of this video, but I did use the Sleep Easy method and he was good within like maybe like three days, and I'm cool with it. Because ultimately my goal for our whole family was that we all get a good night's rest. And I'm thankful that I did do that for us. It worked for us because now, I mean, ever since my son was like 6 or 7 months old, we've been sleeping like 7 or 8 hours a night. There's only once in a while when they sick or something, that's when we got problems, but it was very rare. So with that context, I wanted them to get used to sleeping in their own room. And the whole crib thing, I did do it up until they were maybe like old enough to stand in their crib. When does that happen? Like around 7 or 8 months or so. Once they were standing and stuff, I was like, this getting a little too dangerous. Next thing I know, they're gonna be climbing out. I don't want to deal with that. So I had been researching and I was already learning about Montessori. And with Montessori, they're all about working on the floor, playing on the floor, just having free range, you know, like nothing's off limits. You just make the room like friendly for the kids so they can explore on their own. You don't have to pay them no mind. Well, you pay them a little mind, but you don't have to pay them. Anyway, all this to say, they were talking about floor beds for kids, and it was just a mattress on the floor. I'm like, it makes sense because if they roll off the mattress is only like 2 inches thick, so it's not going to be a big deal, right? They're going to roll over and be like, oh, I'm on the floor. It's not, you know, as opposed to being in a crib, they jump out. You know, I've been seeing all those, you know, all those videos where the kids be jumping out. They like Spider-Man. I don't want any of that. I didn't want to deal with any of that. This sounded safe, and it was also convenient because I was able to get a big enough size that if I need to be in the room for a bit with the kid, we just both on the floor. It's like so easy. Like what was I even doing before that? Like I know there's parents that be trying to fit in their cribs with their babies because they're trying to get to sleep. No, we're not doing that. We're going to be on the ground. So that was a lifesaver for me. Being able to put them on the floor and just make sure that the room is baby proofed and that they had like, they were able to just crawl around or do whatever, have books, whatever they want to do in the morning. Like we all got better sleep because the kids would wake up a little earlier than us and then they just play in their room and they don't bother nobody. They just like la la la, and then they just know that at some point I'm going to come in and get them. And that was happening around like 7 or 8 months. I'm sorry I don't have exact dates and times for you. It was 12 years ago, but it worked. It worked for my son, and it made like our whole like just experience like with him, like him growing up and being a toddler and all that, made it really easy because that just went on until like now, like, and he's back on the floor and he goes to sleep like clockwork at like 9 o'clock. And then he wakes up like 7. It's all good. My daughter, Harper, she goes to bed a little later, but she also wakes up a little later. But it's like, nobody's bothering me. The only time they bother me is if it's like, you know, they're really sick or something. That's okay. And if they're really sick or something, I could go in the room. They got their mattresses on the floor. Why do we have to have like these fancy bed frames and all this stuff that we gonna end up on the floor anyway? I don't have too many photos of my kids with their floor beds, but I found a few digging through the archives. And this one is just so funny to me because when I went to check on my daughter at like 6:30 a.m. through the camera, she was wearing her googly eyes. She was wearing her googly eyes and it just looked like she was looking up at the camera. Probably because the camera has like the little infrared red light thing or whatever, but the timing was just amazing. Like I opened the camera and there she is with her googly eyes. And you can see there's a floor bed off to the side, but she had woken up and she was ready to party, guys. But it's just to give you an idea of how nights went for us. My kids are like champion sleepers and I'm super grateful for that. And speaking of getting a good night's sleep, if you're a side sleeper, you might be interested in this body pillow from Zone Lee. But no, it's like the best thing for like if Any of you guys who like to sleep on your sides. So one side is specifically for cooling you, especially during like the hot summer months. And then the other side is more of like year-round comfort. So you can choose whatever side based on how you feel and if you run in hot that night or not. You know, you need a good hug. Here, get a body pillow. And then it's also great if you're pregnant because you can rest your cute little baby bump on it. But yeah, it's been great for whenever I'm sleeping on my side throughout the night. And then of course, you know, all my stuff, my futon, my tatami, it's all from Zonly. If you are interested in learning more, check out the link below. All right, check out the link below. It's all there. You can go on their website. Okay, back to the video. So all of this to say, it might be something worth exploring. Like definitely like Google like Montessori floor beds. You don't even need, they have like the floor beds with the frames. You don't even need that. You probably just need a tatami mat like I've talked about in my other videos, and like a floor futon, which I got here. And if you do this, then you can fold it up during the day and then your kid's room is bigger. Parents, if you are struggling to get sleep, definitely just consider getting one of these bad boys for your kid's room, okay? Like just, you know, don't sleep on this. Like sleep on it. Sleep on it, right? But it could, you know, if you're having trouble with them being able to, you know, get to sleep and are you trying to sneak out or something, then, you know, don't fight it. Just sleep in there with them, you know, like, and then you get sleep, they get sleep, and then like later on you sneak out. It's gonna get better. But if you are looking for some guidance, you know, helping your kids sleep, I did really like the Sleep Easy book. I can link it below. It's worth a read, and then you can take from it what you want. But I do feel like kids in general, they want to do whatever the adults are doing. They look to us as examples and they're like, oh, okay, mommy and daddy, they're sleeping, they're doing their thing, right? I can do that too. I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl, I have my own room, I can do all that. But it's kind of like you want to follow their lead and also respect them, you know, as just whole beings and stuff. Like, I wouldn't dread it. I would just be relaxed about it. Whenever I'm tense and I am impatient, it's going to show up. So like, just expect if you do decide to do like the methods in that book, if you decide to do the methods in that book, you know, you're going to have a rough few days. But then that rough few days, it's going to be like amazing years. And this is coming from a 40-year-old mom who's had 2 kids and sleeps great every night. And if I don't sleep great every night, it's not their fault. It's my own fault because I'm on the phone too long or something, you know? Kids can feel energy. And so if we have good energy, then it will be easier for them to drift off into a lullaby land. So during the day, you gotta be calm, guys. You can't be like, you know, like all impatient with the kids and then you expect them to get a good night's sleep. No, it's gotta be the whole day is zen. And I know it's a lot. Maybe it's like, what are you even talking about, Tasha? But I've read a lot of really good parenting books that have really helped me to be more of a calm and chill person and to just meet my kids where they are and understand them better. I'm not perfect, but I know that like I like my kids. I like spending time with them. They like me. They think I'm cool. I don't know. Like we get along. It's fine. I don't dread taking them places. I enjoy we enjoy our time together. It's cool. So I think a big part of that is that they just get good sleep. Like sleep is literally the foundation of everything. And if they didn't get good sleep, you didn't get good sleep, you're not going to have a good day. And then this is just going to keep going. Then you're going to be cranky, you're going to be impatient, they're going to be cranky, they're going to be impatient. It's just look into that. You know, if you find yourself in their room half the time anyway, just get one of these guys. Just get one of them. No pressure, of course, but I just wanted to share with you what worked for my family, just in case it might be helpful. But yeah, I am all about the floor sleeping. For our family, it worked the best. And it's definitely personal choice. There'll always be people like, oh, this and that, this is dangerous, that's dangerous. I don't know. I just know I got good sleep. I got good sleep. I'm a well-rested person. I am happier for that. I'm pleasant, I think, sometimes, most of the time. So yeah, you know what? If you want a follow-up video, just let me know. Like, ask me questions down below because this was more on the fly, but I did see this come up in like Reddit. Like I'd be trying to be on the Reddit to learn more about like what people are asking about floor sleeping stuff. And I saw like a lot of people were asking about, oh, how old should the kid be when I transitioned them to floor sleeping? And I think for me, them like trying to jump out their crib, that was kind of the signal for me. And then also just like, you know, however you've decided to help them sleep through the night. my kids were able to start sleeping in longer spurts somewhere around, I want to say like 2 months or 3 months. Like they started to get like their chunks started to go together more. So I get like 4-hour chunks, 5-hour chunks kind of deal, right? Through the night, somewhere around there. And then by the time we got to the 6 months and it was time to put them in their own rooms, then they were already definitely at the 7-hour chunks. And that was really splendid. If you want to learn more about the floor futons I use and all that stuff, tatamis, all that, like I got a playlist over here somewhere. That's for you guys. And it's, as always, Zonely. Link in description. All right. I'll check you guys next week. More good stuff coming, I promise. Love you guys. Bye.